member and a distinguished senior. Have you chaired the Agriculture Committee also?
No,
Not yet?
it's my third committee, and I'm way down on seniority.
You were with us and then you came back again.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So from ag to ag, you're doing very well here, Mr. Sievers.
Okay. Yeah.
Ranking Member Grassley.
Anyway, I think you answered my first question because it's going to be how long your family's been farming. You said fifth generation. You went into the innovative practices that you've done. I think you touched on this a little bit, but I'd like to have you emphasize for the committee how precision agriculture increased your crop yields and at the same time protected the environment.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Yeah, so I am a fifth generation farmer. Actually, my great-great-grandfather established our farm in 1893. So, and he came from a farm in Germany. So our family history in agriculture goes back multi generations. So as far as adopting precision agriculture on our farm, it's become a necessity when it comes to management of agriculture. So as many of the panelists have described already, the risks are great and growing. So the ability to make progress, to me, starts with measurement and management. So if I can't measure it, I can't make progress. So the ability to adopt precision agriculture, you know, we've walked through the steps as technology has come through the generations. When I was a little kid, technology meant how much tillage could you do. And I remember being in a tractor with a plow, and to be a good farmer, you had to turn your fields black because that's the technology that we had. Fast forward, my family adopted conservation tillage, and now as I started farming, we've adopted strip tillage and no tillage, and so the progress comes with technology advancements, and that also includes the ability for the seed in genetics to be able to handle that, and the ability to manage machinery properly and find those efficiencies, and so to measure what's happening in the field, understand where the parts of the field can actually do better than they're doing today, and other parts of the field that, you know, we don't need to spend so much money or time or inputs on because the potential just isn't there. It allows me to focus dollars, and that allows me to then manage my risk in a way to manage those inputs. Agriculture has so many aspects about it that are not in our control, and when you do find those things, the best managers take those opportunities and manage those as best you can. And for me, precision agriculture has allowed me to increase my yields while reducing my inputs. So my efficiency numbers have actually been growing. There's a measurement that some farmers use. It's a nitrogen use efficiency number. The old rule of thumb used to be it takes 1.2 pounds of nitrogen to produce a bushel of corn. Through precision agriculture, I have found parts of my field where I have been able to reduce that number down to 1/2 pound of nitrogen per bushel. That's not everywhere in the field, so when I find those areas, I can manage that properly. And so that's where precision agriculture for me plays a huge impact into risk mitigation and my ability to do my job even better next year.
Mr. Sievers, let's talk about anaerobic digesters. What are the ecological benefits provided by them, and how do you anticipate biogas being used in the future as part of what you call all of the above energy strategy?
Thank you, Senator. I'll give you the short answer when it comes to ecological services first. Really, that's the benefits that humans derive from nature or our natural resources. And, you know, more specifically, it's the goods and services that are provided by those natural resources or nature from those ecosystems. And so I can give you an example, and this is where the real aha moment came for me when I implemented our anaerobic digester, is that as we evaluate the grid soil sampling that we've conducted on our farm for many years, we obviously noticed that our soil organic matter levels had bottomed out, if you will, in that 3.5% to 4% range back in around 2010 and 11. When we started using the material that comes out of our digesters, which is what we refer to as digestate, and use that as our soil amendment to help improve our fertility, to meet the needs of our corn and soybean crops, we noticed within 5 years our organic matter contents were starting to go back up. That reverses a 150-year trend. And that was rather significant. When you could take organic matter contents at 3.5% to 4% and increase those to the low 5% range in just 5 to 7 years after implementing that practice, that was significant. Those are benefits that are going to be paid forward for many, many generations. That's an ecological service and a benefit we've provided to the public. How do you measure and monetize that? That's the challenge. That's where we think carbon credits come into play. So that's one area where I've been able to identify and recognize the benefits from using the fertilizers that we produce right on our own farm. We've eliminated essentially synthetic fertilization of our crops on those 2,000 acres, and not just our 2,000 acres, but actually another 1,500 acres in our neighbors' farms and fields around our facility as well. In the future, I think that there's several pathways. One is to be able to use biogas as a renewable, as you scrub that and clean it up and produce renewable natural gas, it becomes an alternative to potentially biodiesel or renewable diesel. There are certainly cost advantages to renewable natural gas as compared to diesel fuel. We see costs that are in the range of 40 to 50% less on a per unit, MMBTU unit. So there's certainly some real economic benefits to using renewable natural gas. But we also understand that there's challenges to using renewable natural gas. However, being able to use our existing pipeline system for that renewable natural gas is a tremendous benefit that can be provided. We have an extensive well-connected natural gas pipeline system in this country. Let's use it through the utilization of renewable natural gas. But even more importantly, we can also see biogas as used as what we call an intermediate or biointermediate in the production of biodiesel or renewable diesel or even ethanol. So for Iowa, for example, where we have the 43 ethanol plants and about 10 different biodiesel plants, that input of biogas can help drive down the carbon intensity of those renewable fuels as well. So it's very flexible in the benefits that can be derived. It can be used as an input on the supply side in the production of other renewable liquid transportation fuels. It can also be used directly as a liquid renewable transportation fuel. But then finally, another option is to use it as electricity, as a way to fuel electricity for electric vehicles. That certainly is controversial right now. We had hoped that there would be an eRINs proposal coming from the EPA under the SET rule. It does not look like that's going to be forthcoming in the June 14th RFS announcement, but we do anticipate that there will be continued work, and we think that the electricity provides options to biogas producers who are isolated. They maybe have stranded assets where they can't access a pipeline with their biogas or renewable natural gas. And when you look at the number of digesters that are currently on farms right now, close to 500 that I mentioned earlier, the vast majority of those are still producing electricity with their biogas. And so being able to utilize that electricity for that particular purpose would save significant investment for those farmers by being able to produce electricity from the biogas. So that's still an option that I think we need to keep in mind, and we hope that the EPA can move forward with a very fair and equitable approach to integrating eRINs and biogas from on-farm anaerobic digesters. But right now, the pathway for biogas is certainly through renewable natural gas and or used as a biointermediate in the production of other renewable transportation fuels.
You're most welcome, Senator Grassley. Next is Senator Lujan.